Okay, we should be live. What's up, everybody?
So, Tom Cleaver joined. Ronald Hales joined.
Hey, Ron.
Jesse Ferris
Hey,
joined.
Tom. Hey, Jesse.
Jennifer Leal's here.
Hey, Jennifer.
Bounce is here.
What's up, Bounce?
Stacy's here. Hi, Stacy.
Hey, Stacy.
And Mary Ford Baggett.
Mary Ford Baggett, all the way from Northwest Arkansas. Give us a shout if you can hear us. We got new mics again, so we're trying these ones out. It should be all right. But let us know how it is and if we need to turn anything down or tweak anything out. But welcome to Thursday. So every Thursday at 6 o'clock, I pop up on your screens. I'm Chef Nikki, and this week we're making Cuban food. So we are, it's celebrating Cuban heritage. My wife is half Cuban. We're gonna make the black beans that her great-grandmother used to make. So we got the recipe. We're making a quick version, so we're not using dry soaked black beans. We're gonna use canned beans because we don't have as much time as it would take to make, the dry kind. But it's still gonna be just as tasty, and I think a little bit nostalgic for Jen.
I'm excited.
Yeah? When's the last time you think you had your great-grandma's black beans?
Oh, I can't
Or
tell
cooking.
you.
The 90s?
No, 2000s.
Early 2000s?
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? What happened? Did he unplug it?
Maybe. Golly.
Okay, we have a technical difficulty. I think the puppy just knocked out the camera, so we're going to figure that out.
Golly. It's plugged in.
No, it's not.
Oh.
Yep, he unplugged it. Okay. All right, puppy. Everybody here's Hale.
Puppy.
And we are going to turn it off, turn it back on, and we should... There it is. We're back.
All
Come here,
right.
puppy. Come
Vic-
on, pup, pup.
Vicky and Phil in the house.
Come here. You can't lay there, puppy. Okay. Oh, man. So Oliver, our puppy, just picked the where the most cords are in the entire house to lay down. So, so we had to kick the camera back on. So give us a shout. Hopefully you can see us and hear us. See and hear? Okay, great. All right, so the recipes are on chefnikki.net. Every Monday, I put out a new menu with recipes, equipment needs if you want to cook along. So this one is the Picadillo with black beans and rice. So you should be able to see that on my website, or you are able to see that on my website. So if you want to see the recipes, that's where they are. But we're going to get going. So if you're cooking along, give me a number 1 if you're ready to go. Give me a number 2 if you want me to pump the brakes and keep yip-yapping about stuff.
Jennifer Leal started a watch party at Tallahassee Foodies.
What's up, Foodies?
In Tallahassee Foodies' home. She said she's excited about Cuban food.
Yeah, it's really delicious. I love Cuban food. Being from South Florida, I mean, it's like you almost grow up on Cuban food. It's so part of our South Florida culture, So, yeah, it's going to be exciting. So we always make the starch first. So the first thing we're going to do is make our white rice. So if you're cooking along, go ahead and get your white rice mise en place. That's your things in place. And I'm going to show you how to rinse your rice, because that is a very Latin thing to do, is to rinse your rice. I didn't know that you should do that until I started cooking with a lot of, Latin chefs and stuff, and even home cooks and all that, and they always rinse their rice. Give us a shout if you rinse your rice, if you ever learned how to do that. But the main thing we're going to do is basically just rinse off some of that starch, and I just want to show you what it looks like, what's going to come off. And I have just like regular, this is like the South Florida rice right here, Mahatma. Right?
That's it. That's the standard.
It. It smells even like South Florida. All right, 2 cups of rice.
Belinda Daniels here. She's cooking with us, it looks
Hi,
like.
Belinda.
Michael Hudson's here. It looks like he's cooking with us.
Oh, awesome.
And Patty just joined. Hi, Patty.
Hey, Patty. So we got 2 cups of rice. And like I said, we're going to rinse off the starchiness. Just going to throw that back in. And I'm just doing it right here because I want to show you what it looks like, but basically we're just going to dump it in. And I will take this over to the sink in a little bit, but we're just going to take our rice, and as I move it around, you can see the water's like cloudy. Can you guys see that? It's getting like milky looking. And that is the excess starch, coming off of it. So that's how much extra starch is in the rice, and I'll show you the water now. It's almost like soy milk.
Gross.
Not quite like milk. So check that out. That's a lot of starchiness. So I'm gonna finish rinsing this over at the sink. I'm just gonna, rinse through here, dump out the water, and I'll be back in 1 second. So I'm gonna just chuck that. Talk amongst yourselves.
Vicky said she's drinking all of the wine. What?
Vicky's drinking the wine?
Vicky, too good.
All right. Okay, Miss Vicky.
Ultra V 420 is on YouTube.
Hey, V.
Patty says, hi, Nikki and Jen. I never heard of rinsing rice. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
Patty.
let me just get
Got to
this
do
up.
it. It's a standard definitely I know it's a standard in Cuban food, but is it a standard in cooking in general?
I do it all the time. I've made it. Let me get my mic back. I don't know if you guys can hear me. But I've just always made it a habit since I learned to make my rice that way. I always rinse it, unless I'm doing like buckets and buckets and buckets of rice at like a restaurant or something like that. It's like a big catering event where it would be like too much drama to do it. I typically will do it every single time, especially if I'm at home, because it just gets that extra starchiness off. And because what'll happen is, if you think about it, if there's like a powder of starch hanging out on the outside of your rice, and then it gets introduced to hot liquid, it'll swell and gelatinize just like the rice. And so what happens is it gives it more of like a mushy texture rather than like each grain, standing up for itself and being the rice it was meant to be. Okay, 2/3 cup of water, and a lot of people question me on this because most folks were raised with the 2-to-1 method of rice, where 2 cups of liquid to 1 cup of rice. But in my opinion, that's too mushy, and also in a lot of Latin households, that is too mushy as well, and so it's almost like a 1-to-1 ratio.
Ultra
But I
V-
have two. Sorry.
Ultra V said in Japanese sushi rice, they have a very specific technique for sushi rice rinsing.
Yes, they do. It's and you got to like train for like years on it. And even though you are trying to get, sushi rice is meant to be sticky, and you still have to rinse all the starchiness on the outside of the rice. Just because it's got to go. So I have 2 3/4 cups of water. And when we make rice, we always bring the liquid to a boil. In this case, it's water. So we have 2 3/4 cups of water, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, good olive oil. All right. And I'm going to do a teaspoon of just regular salt.
Michael said, do you also toast the rice in oil? I have seen Latin cooks do this.
So there's 3 different methods of making rice. This is just the standard white rice. This is the standard conventional rice method. So this is a teaspoon of salt. It's going right in. And we're going to bring this water to a boil. When you toast the grains, Michael, that's typically called the pilaf method. And when you do the pilaf method, you boil your liquids, you toast your grains, and you might put some wine while you're toasting your grains and some garlic and stuff, and then the boiling hot liquid all goes in at once, bring it to a boil together, drop it to a simmer, and that's rice pilaf. Risotto is almost the same thing, but you have your liquids boiling off to the side, you toast your grains, you will most certainly have wine, absorbing while you're toasting those grains, garlic, onion, lots of butter, and then little by little you'll ladle. the boiling liquid and let it absorb slowly so it's nice and creamy, so you yield a creamy texture. But it matters when you put the liquid in, how hot the liquid is when you put it, with the grain, and also, the tempo that you put it in, the speed that you put it in, and that will, yield a different type of texture. In this case, we want authentic Cuban-style white rice. So we're gonna bring everything to a boil. We're gonna put in our rinsed rice into our pot, stir it, cover it. Then we're gonna drop it down to a simmer. Let it simmer for like 5 minutes or so. Turn it one time. Put the lid back on and let it keep boiling or simmering for another, 15 minutes, and it's done. So you don't take the lid off a lot. You just turn it the one time, and then the one time should yield crispy little crunchies at the bottom of the pot if you do it right. Some cultures call it con. Some cultures call it, what's the other one?
I know con.
Con is Cuban. The Puerto Ricans call it, I used to just call it Crispies, but there's like a name for it. Give us a shout if you know the name for the crusty stuff on the bottom of the rice pot. Because every culture has a different, our friend from Iran, her family's from Iran, they have a name for it as well, and it's like a sought after thing, All right, so
Pegao?
What's it?
Pegao? I just
Pegao. Yeah, Pegao, yeah. That's it.
Pegao.
You give this a stir. Get all our salt dissolved in there. It should be like salty seawater. And we're bringing that to a boil. Then our rice is gonna go in. And don't forget, I always do my starches first, because if you don't do your starches first, you're gonna be waiting a really long time to have dinner.
The Iranian name for the crispy rice is tadig, right?
Tadig, yeah. Right? We got that from Lee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Very good, very good. Yeah, it's like a crispy. The texture is just yummy.
It's like flavored.
Yeah,
it's flavored. No?
There's a saffron. Yeah, it's neat. It's very good. So what's everybody doing tonight besides hanging out with me? Like, what's shaking? It's pouring rain here in Tallahassee, and I will be at the downtown market this weekend selling my wares. So hope y'all stop by. All right, I'm gonna add the rice because my water is boiling. And all goes in. We're gonna give it a stir. And we'll bring it up to a boil again and then reduce it to a simmer. And that's the way you make perfect rice. Okay?
And don't touch it.
No peeking, no lid off, do not stir it. It doesn't need your help. It's got boiling water, nature, it's got salt, the oil, it's fine.
And make sure that lid is real tight.
Real tight. It's a tight fitting lid. So we're gonna bring it up, then I'm gonna reduce it to a simmer, and I'm gonna put this on the back burner for now. And we will get started on our beans. Bring that guy up. So we gotta start on our mise en place. So we're gonna cut up our vegetables. Oops. And that's what I like to do first, right? Is get all my veggies in the right spot. Put this back down like that. And we're gonna start cutting stuff up.
Ultra V is really vying for us to have a Chef Nikki house musician for some background music.
Yeah, all right, this is the appropriate way to cut a pepper. Peppers are very expensive. All right, I'm boiling, so I'm gonna turn this down to, turn it down to low and just let it ride, baby. I need a timer for 10 minutes. Can you set a timer? Don't tell that lady because she's gonna set all their ladies off.
Do it, yeah.
You're right, V. It does. There is probably, I could probably get like some what's it called? Copyright free music somewhere. And I don't know. Let us know. You guys think we should have music? Is it dead air in between and it scares you? I don't know. All right. Here's the way we cut this pepper. Peppers are expensive, so we're just gonna cut the very top off like that, and then we're gonna rip out the core so that we have very little waste. Hollow it out. Now I'm going to cut the bottom off and then cut it in half. Always slice away from yourself. We're gonna cut the ribs out. That's the bitter part. This is useless to us. Here comes Ollie. Hey, puppy. What's up, Bubba? He's trying to eat this cord now. Yeah, we need remember how Emerald used to have like a house band, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe one day we'll get cool like that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
All right, and so we always tuck our fingers in, tuck that thumb in or you're gonna lose it. We always do the claw. The blade goes right up against our knuckles. Never raise your blade above the knuckles. And then we're gonna give some nice little slices. Then we turn it. Let's not be a hero. And we're gonna make little dices. It's our diced little green pepper.
How's everybody doing? Everybody's quiet in the comments.
Very quiet tonight.
Although
Maybe
Michael
we do need
said too wet to plow, but I'm not really sure what he's referring to.
Too wet to plow, I guess, yeah. Yeah, that's okay. If you're not gonna plow, Michael, that's all right.
Let's talk about how many streams we have going right now. We're on Twitch.
Yeah.
We're on Nikki Talks Food.
Uh-huh.
We're on Nikki Patinio's personal Facebook
Facebook page.
And we're on YouTube.
Yep, we are on the tubes. We got
Variety.
4 streams going. Yeah,
we got some hearts going.
All right, we'll take some hearts.
Oh,
Thank
Rhonda's
you.
here. Hi, Rhonda.
Hey, Rhonda.
She said, watching. I'm excited for this one.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Rhonda. Now this guy, we're gonna cut this guy up, make it match.
We can also talk about all of my Cuban abuela who
Yeah, let's talk about her,
we're
man.
doing this for.
Yeah. Tell us about her.
She was the greatest. I grew up with her.
She was your great grandma,
She's
right?
my great grandmother. My grandmother is always on these feeds. If she's
Yeah.
not here, I'd be very surprised. Her
Beba.
name is Beba. But
Beba's in Miami.
my great grandmother was in my life until my 20s or so.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is longevity
Until I
right
was
there.
in law school, really.
Wow,
And she used to cook, and she's actually one of the only ladies in my Spanish family that does cook.
Yeah.
That did cook.
That's true.
Everybody else.
No one else cooks.
No one else in my Cuban family that's a woman cooks in the house. We acquire our spouses who like to cook.
They're always, these ladies, they always marry somebody who likes to cook somehow.
That's the way to our hearts.
This is my waste right here. Look at that. That's all we're wasting.
And so my abuela, I grew up with her, and she loved each of her 13 great-grandchildren.
Wow.
I'm number 3. Lucky number.
Yeah.
No, wait. I'm sorry. I'm number 2.
Just as lucky. Just as lucky.
I'm number 2. And she always wore really pretty jewelry. I always loved that she had a ring when I grew up that she always wore. It was a diamond ring, and she got it from her father. She always wore. And I used to tell her all the time that I loved the ring. And she was very much a daddy's girl, which I am also very much a daddy's girl. So we had that in common. What else about her? Whenever you were in trouble,
Ooh.
you got the worst look ever.
The eyebrow raise, right?
Yeah, she would raise her left eyebrow all the way up, and you would know that you better act right, or else something bad was really going to happen.
You got about to get pow pow.
Yeah. No, she never hit us. So that's my abuela. Her name was Marie Isabel.
What was her name?
Marie Isabel.
Marie Isabel. I didn't know that. That's cool. Thank you very much for sharing Abuela's memory with us.
Well, she used to cook specifically this recipe, and every time I would come to Miami and we would eat, she would kind of scooch up to me and whisper in my ear, "I made these black beans just for you because I know you."
No!
Yes.
Oh, how
She
sweet!
would.
Yeah.
Because she knew I loved the recipe so much, so she would make
Yeah.
them just for me.
Oh my
I
God,
don't know
I'm
if
gonna
she
cry.
said that to the rest of
She
them.
probably went around the whole table.
She probably said that to the rest of the great grandchildren too. But she
We
knew
need
she
some
would say that to
cousins.
me.
We need some cousins to chime in here. Vanessa, Christina, Mikey, where are you guys? Let us know if Jen's lying.
I felt very special.
Yeah, that's very sweet. Keep on rocking.
Jennifer Leal said, "Excited to have Chef Nikki as a guest author at TallahasseeFoodies.com soon. You heard it here first."
That's right. I'm an author now. Celebrated. I'm a celebrated author in my mind. But yeah, I'm gonna be writing a blog, monthly blog with Tallahassee Foodies, and you guys know I can video, but now you're gonna see some writing. So that is, that's another thing I'm gonna do. It's pretty cool. I'm excited. I feel really #blessed that Jennifer reached out and wanted me to be a part of the Tallahassee Foodies, the newsletter. I thought that was so cool. I was like, moi? All right, we're gonna do our onion now. So simple. Cut off the North Pole and the South Pole. Try to waste as little as possible. Then I take my thumb like that and I anchor it, and I just peel my onion. Super simple, just like that. And it's always nice when it's like a wet onion because it peels off so nicely. If it's like super dry, has those little, shreds that you sit there and lament over. Now we're gonna cut it in half. Whoa. Then flat hand, and we are going to, can you guys see that? Yeah, you can see it. We are going to make slices halfway through, and then we're gonna go down this way, vertically, and then that will let us have nice little dices.
To add to my abuela's story, Kyle got on and said that abuela would chase my brother Kyle and Chris, who's my other cousin, with her walker. Because they were the bads.
Yeah, they were the bad boys.
The girls are the good. Well, we don't have a lot of boy cousins, but the boy cousins.
Ones that are there.
Yeah.
They're bad. Causing trouble. Abuela's chasing them around.
Especially Christopher.
Baba's still chasing him around.
Also true.
What are you going to do? You try your best, right? Okay, that's our onion done. That's our peppers done. And now on to garlic. We got a ton of garlic to smash up. And remember, our recipes are on chefnikki.net. So if you want to see the recipes, just go to chefnikki.net, or maybe can you link it into the chat? Give that a smash.
Well,
Yeah.
this recipe you specifically translated from Spanish.
Yeah, the black bean recipe, and I did notice that there was definitely an error on my behalf in the measurements, but that's okay. We're gonna fix it. It's just the olive oil. It's not a big deal. Because originally, I mean, you're supposed to use dry beans to make this recipe, but that would take way too long. Oh, did we get our timer go off?
We have 47 seconds.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my rice, big spoon, and I'm just gonna
Quick.
turn it over like that. That's it. Let it go. Still on low and slow. So you're supposed to use, dry beans for this recipe, but it would take too long. So we modified it. I modified it so that we could kind of get, dinner on the table, you know, we try to get dinner on the table at a reasonable time on our Thursday cook-alongs. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use canned beans, and that's okay. That's okay.
Patty said, great family story. Oh, that's the timer. Jennifer Leal said, love the memories. Thanks, Jennifer.
Yeah.
I see that my relatives are on the stream. So if you guys have abuela stories that you want me to shout out, let me know.
We're talking about abuela. We're thinking about abuela. We're gonna eat beans and stuff, and so share some memories. All you Yugarisas.
Oh, Vanessa just got on. Vanessa's my cousin. She missed the story. I was just talking about abuela and how she used to make black beans and then tell me secretly in my ear that they were for me.
Yeah, we need you to let us know if Jennifer is the only grandchild she said that to, or, you know, if you also got the whisper of the beans.
Well, ignorance is bliss.
Tell you, my grandfather was such a jokester. He would have told every kid the same exact thing.
I know. I like to think that it was just for me.
I'm sure it was, honey. I'm sure it was. I'm only teasing. It makes for great entertainment. So I just smashed up the garlic. Now I'm just kind of peeling it up. There's nothing better than fresh garlic. Don't use that stuff in the jar.
That's
you know,
right.
that wet stuff you buy. And it's like I think you can't really save garlic in oil because it breeds bacteria, because the oil doesn't allow the garlic to breathe, and so it breeds bacteria, and it's very low acid. So in the store when you buy it, it's usually pasteurized or partly cooked. If you buy it in a jar, like already kind of like minced up, and so the flavor's partially gone. So it's better to use fresh. All right, here we go. We're gonna smash these guys. This is like probably 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, and I just make them into a paste. Did you ever watch Abuela cook, or by the time you got there, food was done?
I usually didn't set foot in the kitchen. I was too busy playing with my cousins.
Yeah. You
Beba
still do
just
that.
joined.
Hey, Beba! Beba, we're telling Abuela stories. Let us know if you have anything you want to share about your mom. We're loving these old memories. While we chop all this garlic up. This is called the Patinio Smash. Right here.
You're very good at it.
I am. Hey, listen, you smash up enough garlic in your life, it becomes very easy.
Patty has a good question. How long can you keep fresh garlic?
Fresh garlic that is like this, like it's still in its skin.
I'm assuming that's what you mean.
Yeah, fresh garlic is good till it goes bad. You know, like it'll start to sprout. Once it sprouts, what happens is that sprout is now drawing the sugar away from the garlic. And so you end up with kind of like bitter garlic. So it's not good when it sprouts. It's not going to kill you or anything, but it's just not as tasty. And it tends to sprout pretty easily. So, you know, a couple of weeks. If it's not sprouting, though, it's probably all right. All right, I think we did all our mise en place. The next thing we're going to do is our black beans. So here goes our black beans. We're going to get this guy out of the way. Find a place for my garlic. Scoop it into this ramekin here. But yeah, it's you know, you should never save garlic in olive oil yourself because you can really it breeds bacteria pretty easily.
Oh, Vanessa has a good abuela story.
Oh, let's hear it.
She said, abuela would cook for me all the time. I would stay home, quote, sick, and she would make me whatever I wanted.
Aw,
What would
that's
she make
sweet.
you, Vanessa? I want to know.
Yeah,
if it's black beans, I'm going to be sad.
Let us know if it was macaroni and cheese or... Okay, here we go with our black beans. Now, the recipe says 3/4 cup of olive oil. That's way too much. It's supposed to be 2/3 translated, and then we kind of cut it down to a manageable amount. So I'm going to go with, you know, probably 1/4 cup of olive oil. initially. There is some you're supposed to finish at the end with, but we're gonna go with a 1/4 cup because fat is flavor, and it's olive oil.
My Aunt Carmen commented. She said, I helped Abuela cook all the time. She taught me all her secrets. That's
Oh,
true.
perfect. Well, let us know if we're doing it
does
right,
it.
Carmen. All right, so we are gonna we have oregano, we have the bell pepper, we have black pepper, we have onion. Notice there's no sazon or anything like that. This is like legit, you know. Sazon. We're gonna put this in the beef, but this is you'll see this a lot. It's a little packet. It does have MSG in it, and but you know, so the old recipes are not gonna have like a packet of sazon in them, but the newer ones will. Okay, so we put this on over medium heat because we're gonna start sweating our vegetables, and we're gonna have, let's see, we got our black beans, we got our olive oil, a little salt, so that's all right here. Good to go. We're gonna use half the onions and half the peppers that we cut up, so because the rest of them are going into our beef, our picadillo. Did you ever have raisins in your picadillo?
No.
This recipe called for raisins. This was not Abuela's recipe, but I was researching like authentic picadillo, and even Versailles puts raisins in their picadillo.
Really?
Yeah, and so I was like, well, we'll give it a shot, you know. A lot of Italian recipes too, and then when there's ground beef, they put raisins in it. It's like an old-timey thing.
It's
you
not
know?
uncommon, but I wouldn't say that I've had it in lately. Although
Yeah.
I don't get picadillo at Versailles.
Right, you always get what? The
Ropa Vieja.
ropa vieja.
That's my go-to.
That's my honey's go-to. All right, half the onions, half the peppers, because the rest are gonna go in with the picadillo. It already smells wonderful in here. I'm gonna use my little paddle to stir.
Oh, Vanessa,
And we're not trying to brown it up, we're just trying to sweat them.
Vanessa said Abuela would make her rice with a fried egg on top.
Oh, I love rice with an egg. It's so delicious.
My Aunt Lillian said Abuela was very precise with her measurements. She would get mad if you did not follow the recipe.
Ooh, we're being precise here. I got the iPad. Whoops.
So you better be precise.
The iPad. I'm following it. So thank you, Lillian, for the reminder.
Rick Oppenheim says, pretty sure Habana's Boardwalk makes theirs with raisins. So there you go.
Really? Yeah, it's like a big raisins. Raisins are why people have trust issues, I think, right? It's like, you know, when a raisin pops up and you're not expecting it, you're like, oh my God, you know, but, and in Italian culture as well, like we make something called braciole, which is like rolled up, you know, meat that you slowly roast. And a lot of families put raisins in theirs. My family does not, you know, so it all depends. But yeah, thanks for letting us know, Rick.
My Aunt Carmen said we didn't like it with raisins, so that's why we just don't have that in our
We can leave it out. We can leave it out.
It's fine. I think it'll be
They're
interesting.
Newmans.
My grandmother says some people like raisins in the picadillo. I like it. Also capers.
Ooh, capers are salty. I love capers.
Yeah. Patty wanted to know what kind of pan you're using.
This is the Cadillac of all pans, Patty. This is a Le Creuset brazier. The shape is a brazier. And so it's noticeably kind of a little bit more squatty than their classic casserole, you know, stew pot. This one's a brazier. But to be fair, you know, my typical bean pot has got rice in it right now. So, and I was going to use a rice cooker, but then I was like, are these people tuning in to watch me put food in a rice cooker? You know? So I decided to do it in a pot.
Rick said raisins add a nice sweetness. My mom made her stuffed cabbage with raisins in the
Yeah.
sauce.
Stuffed cabbage, too.
And apparently my Aunt Lillian puts lots of capers and olives, and some people put potatoes, she said even.
In the picadillo?
That's what
I guess so. I mean, you just kind of like use up what you got, you know? I think my gas is out. Yeah, it's almost out. It's okay, I got a new one.
Where can you find that pan if you want one that's...
You can get it at Brown's Kitchen Center. They have a lovely selection. They actually have some really sexy ones that are, they're the licorice ones licorice. And they're black, but they're not shiny. They're matte? They're matte, yeah. So they're sleek looking, you know? I would imagine that food would cook faster in those too because they're black, you know? The heat absorbs a little bit better maybe. How you guys doing out there? Is anybody cooking along? Yeah, awesome.
I know Vicky is.
Oh, Vicky's cooking?
I think so.
All right.
She said that she was drinking wine, so I gotta imagine she is.
She might just be drinking.
Melinda is. Michael Hudson is, I think. I don't know. Patty, are you cooking with us? It smells so good right now.
Yeah, peppers and onions. We got to get these nice and sweaty. Nice and sweaty. Then the next thing we'll put in is our garlic, then our dry spices, wine, and then the beans. Oregano. This is something I don't typically put in my black beans. I like, you know, I kind of just put whatever's hanging around sometimes, but I've never put in oregano, dry oregano, so I'm interested to see how that tastes. Where are you going? Oh, we forgot to feed our puppy. I need to remember to move more this way so that you guys can see me better. So there's that. Oh, he just realized it's dinner time. So Ollie's good. He's 55 pounds now. He's just rocking around, man. He's just like starting to calm down a little bit. He is, what, 7 months? Almost 8 months. He's probably 8 months. And, you know, for a little puppy that was found in a field, he's doing good. You know? He's always smiling. He's a smiley little puppy.
He's a very happy boy.
He's a very happy boy. All right, I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit because it's starting to get a little crazy, and I'm just trying to sweat these veggies. And I'm going to add the garlic. We don't want to burn the garlic. I'm going to add half the garlic of what I chopped up. And we're going to get a big whiff of delicious garlicky flavor. And then we're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of dry oregano, and I'm going to measure it out. You guys know I don't normally do that, but for Abuela, and so Lillian doesn't come and beat me up. There's a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of black pepper, so that'll be 2 of these. Costco black pepper. And we're going to do some salt. So our salt is 4 teaspoons, and wowee. Might just put 2 in to start and then taste it later. Because we got canned beans, which are not that salty. Actually, you know, we're going to start out. We're going to do 1 teaspoon of salt, because I think that'll be enough since we're using canned beans. I'll adjust the recipe online at some point. But it's nice to toast up your spices because it brings out the oils. That's a little trick, a little chef's trick, is that when you toast your spices, it brings out the oil, natural oil in the spices that are locked away in the jar for who knows how long. So I always try and add them before I add liquid.
Add all of the garlic?
Half.
Oh, half, Jesse.
Half, Jesse. We're going to use the rest for the other stuff. 2 tablespoons of white wine. Let that cook down.
Interesting fact, my Aunt Carmen said she started using cilantro and beer instead of wine to the recipe.
That's not Abuela's beans. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Carmen. You do you, baby. No, that sounds really good. I do love cilantro. So we always cook out the alcohol, so we don't add any liquid just yet. We always, when we add alcohol, we want it during the dry cooking process. So the wine just went in. So we got some flavors going on now. And then we gotta do our beans. I'm gonna strain out some of the liquid from this beans. One can I'm gonna leave fine, just the way it is, but the other one I'm just gonna take out some of that liquid. I can add it later if I want. But in go our beans. These are bushes. And the recipe, you're supposed to mush some of the beans down. So, you know, she says like a couple of tablespoons of the beans. So we're just going to kind of mush some down, kind of get them so they're like a paste.
Jesse's asking for a recap when you get a chance.
All right, Jesse, in the pan, this is the beans. We have half of the onions and half of the peppers because we chopped it all up and put it all together. So we have half the onions, half the peppers that we chopped up. Put them in the pan with about a quarter of a cup of olive oil. And we sweated them down. Then we added half the garlic that we chopped up because the other half's going to go in the picadillo. Then we added 2 tablespoons of white wine, and we cooked that out. We added our dry spices, our dry oregano, and we added our black pepper and salt, and I reduced the salt amount. This says 4 teaspoons. I think that's way too much for canned beans, so I just said 1 teaspoon, and the rest will do to taste. And then I just plopped in 2 cans of black beans, and now we're stirring them all up. And we'll cook them for probably about 20 minutes, covered. Then we're going to add the finishing touches, which is sugar and vinegar.
Jessie said she used all the garlic, so how would we correct that?
Chop more. Yeah, chop more. It's more garlic is not going to hurt you. It's good. It's fantastic. Like it'll just be super garlicky,
And
super
delicious.
happy. Yeah, don't worry.
Just
Don't
chop
worry.
some more.
Don't worry, boo boo.
Patty said, did you use plain black beans, and if so, do you drain and rinse?
I drained them. I didn't rinse them. I used low sodium. And I drained out some of the liquid in case I want more for later. But one can I left normal, and the other can I drained the liquid, just so that I could, I could play with the liquid myself, you know. Okay, so I'm going to put a lid on this. I'm going to put it on the back burner back there. Ollie, gotta move, buddy. And we're going to put it on low and let them bubble, bubble, bubble. And with a lid on. And then we're going to finish them up with the sugar and the vinegar.
Matthew Militia just joined.
Hi, Matthew Militia.
We're trading abuela stories
That's right.
on this video, so if you have any, let us know in the comments.
Talking about abuela.
Got all the cousins on here.
All the cousins, all the
And the
primos. The aunts are there. I love it. Everybody's got their cooking methods that they like, and I like talking about that
And
stuff.
my grandma.
And Beba, the queen Beba. We love you, Beba.
Beba, type some abuela stories in the chat so I can talk more about her while we're cooking her recipe.
Next up is our picadillo. It's our ground beef. But I will take a minute just to let you guys catch up, and I'll kind of like, tidy up my little space here. So let us know how you're doing.
My Aunt Lillian said in her picadillo she uses Nikki's Pro Seasoning instead of the recipes.
All right. Yeah, we are putting Pro Seasoning in that today, I think.
So if we
Yep.
want some Pro Seasoning, how do we get some?
Pro Seasoning. So I will be at the Tallahassee Downtown Market this weekend in person. If you guys want to come by and say hi, please wear a mask and be 6 feet away from me. Don't breathe on me. But I'll be there selling my wares, my spice. I have thermometers, I have t-shirts, all that stuff. But also I sell it on chefnikki.net. That's Nikki with 2 Ks. And, you can order. I do free in-town delivery in Tallahassee, but you got to be within a 5-mile radius of area code 32317. But I just will get in my truck tomorrow. I deliver every Friday, and I will just make my little deliveries. I will ring your doorbell. I will run away as fast as I can because I'm sure you don't want to talk to me since it's, COVID-19 and all that. But that's how you get it. Also, we're available in like 6 different places here in town in Tallahassee. We are available. Pro Seasoning is available at Brown's Kitchen Center. Red Eye Coffee, so you can go get your coffee and get your spice fix. Jerry's Midtown Cafe. We are available at Community Co-op in, where the old New Leaf was. Now it's Community Co-op, grocery store, marketplace. We are available, Smashing Olive, just all over town. So really, there's no excuse for you not to be using it in everything you cook. My rice, I think, is done. Let's give it a little check here. I'm gonna take this mic off, otherwise I'll fly across the room. So yeah, come see me at the farmers market this weekend. It's a fun market. I think there's gonna be a lot of vendors there and stuff, so it should be a lot of fun. And I will have this cool shirt that I'm wearing. Be the coolest kid at the farmer's market. Get yourself a Food Geek, Nikki Talks Food, Pro Seasoning t-shirt, and support local.
If they can't go to the farmer's market, then how do they get your stuff?
We went over it.
Oh, sorry.
We did it, I promise. Jen took the puppy out. Okay, you guys ready for some beef?
Betty McGuire joined. Hi, Betty.
Hey, how are you, Titi?
And Kate says, "Oh, the aroma! I can almost smell
it
on this end of Tally."
Oh yes. I gotta get my meat out of the fridge. See if this cord reaches. Straight from Publix.
Now say it in Cuban. Straight from Puble.
Oh, Puble. That's fine. Okay, so we're gonna use our ground beef, the yellow onion, green pepper, the garlic, salsa de tomate. It's just like a tomato sauce that you get, and it's like this is little, 8-ounce little can, Spanish style, tomato sauce.
Pause. Recap, please. On the beans, did you add anything to the beans after salt and pepper? Jesse wants to know.
No. Salt, pepper, oregano, the dry oregano. Then the beans went in, and we stirred it up, and then we're going to finish with the vinegar and the sugar. And I'm going to give them a stir right now since you reminded me. They sound bubbly, bubbly, bubbly. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Right? It smells so good, I could cry.
Really?
Yeah.
Cry, cry, cry.
No. Betty said, "How are you guys? I wish I could go to Tally and see you."
We're here. We're here, Titi. We are. We're just trucking along. We're being good little COVID, people, and we are, staying out of trouble. I'm gonna put the onions and the peppers in. And we're just trying to sweat these guys as well. We're staying out of trouble. We're staying home. We're not really going anywhere. So, living that quarantine life, baby. Doing all these live streams. And cooking with the people, man. Cooking with the people. Hanging out. And that's it. I don't know what other cliche I can add into there. All right, so we got our peppers and our onions going for our picadillo, and they need to sweat and reduce. So So don't worry, they're gonna cook for a while. So if you're trying to catch up, this is it. This is catch-up time. We got our beans done. We got our rice done. Well, their beans are almost done. They're cooking. Our rice is almost done. And, we're going to have dinner on the table very soon. So with all this yip-yapping that we're doing, we're still probably going to be done by 7 o'clock.
Ultra V wants to know, do you have any specials if you purchase more than one pro seasoning? I'm assuming is what she means.
I do run specials sometimes. I probably will run a special soon. Right now there's not something going on. It's just, remember I'm real small, and so it's hard for me to compete with like McCormick and all that kind of stuff. But my spice blend is made with Himalayan pink salt, which is, the most expensive salt on the market. And, I don't have any anti-caking agents, no sugar or anything like that. So a little bit of my spice goes a long way, So don't suffer from sticker shock when you when you see it. It's definitely worth it, my beautiful pro seasoning. And I have my barbecue blend coming out soon. This is my 3rd test batch. Right here.
Ooh,
yeah.
sneak
I
peek.
might, if you guys order your order tomorrow, I'll probably sneak in a little bag of this as a test batch for as a freebie for if you order pro seasoning, and I deliver it tomorrow in town. So look out for that. I do have that's a pound of it. So, and I just dry rubbed a pork butt in my refrigerator. And this is the Java Barbecue, Pro Java Barbecue Rub.
Patty wants to know, when you say the word sweat the onions and the peppers, what does that mean?
It means they're glossy. So see how they're glossy and they're not really getting any color? Basically, the moisture is coming out. We're not really adding a lot of color. We're just kind of trying to get them to reduce down and basically we're getting the moisture out.
Rhonda has a question. Do you stir the beans along or let them simmer?
These ones we're going to stir because they're already cooked since they're from a can. So I just stirred them once. I'll stir them again because this pot holds in a lot of heat, So we're just trying to get the flavors to kind of marry together. But essentially, they're pretty much done. I'm going to put them on super low, and we will add the sugar and the vinegar at the last minute.
I have a comment from Vanessa. She says, pro seasoning is the bomb.
It's the bomb.
And also from Beba, I love pro seasoning.
Ah, thank you. Thank you for the support. All right, the rest of the garlic is going in. Remember, we don't want our garlic to burn. And I think we're going to put white wine in this as well. Oh, and cumin.
Why not?
Oh, I forgot the bay leaf in the beans. We got to throw a bay leaf in. It's important. Throw the bay leaf in. I'm going to chuck mine in right now. A lot of people think that bay leaves do nothing for cooking, but it's not true.
Bay leaves are so important.
Very important. All right, so we're going to put in our cumin, half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of dry oregano, because remember we put it in while it's we have the dry cooking method going on. So we toast our seasonings. Take this silly little thing off.
Elena Ramos joined, and so did Elizabeth Ferris. I have all the cousins.
Oh my gosh, everybody's here.
All the cousins.
Everybody's here.
You said Cuban food. And
Welcome,
everybody checked in.
welcome. Welcome, cousins.
It definitely smells like home right now, I gotta say.
Does it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous. All right, so we just put in our dry cumin and our dry oregano. Saute that up. Next, we'll put in our ground beef. We're going to get that going. And here we go. Just kind of plop it in. Boom.
Did you know that there are Cuban Ferrises?
Yes.
I have 2 cousins who are, they're Italian Cubans, but still.
And they're very funny, too.
Very funny.
Very funny people.
Michael says, I think a downtown market visit is in my future if I can control my COVID anxiety.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's hard. But it's open air. And Tallahassee is one of those places where people kind of like follow the rules, you know? So I think it'll be all right. I promise I won't breathe on you.
Elena's all in on the picadillo with raisins.
Oh, okay, cool. So there it is.
So there you go.
Picadillo with raisins. Cook that up.
Jesse says garlic before beef. Yes, right?
Garlic before beef, yes. Stir up my beans.
My Aunt Carmen said that she uses pro seasoning for everything.
Oh, that's what you're doing it right. You're doing it right, Carmen. You put it on everything. Put it on everything. It's what it's designed to do. I came up with pro seasoning. You know, I've been cooking professionally for 15 years, and everywhere I've ever gone to cook, and I cooked on a yacht, for 2 years, and I had a catering business, and I taught, and all these places that I would go and cook, I would mix up a batch of this seasoning. I didn't call it pro seasoning back then. I called it, when I taught, my kids called it Patinio spice. Patinio is my last name, and so they would call it Patinio spice. And that I would mix up a batch of it, and it would always go missing. It would just always go missing. So, and my parents loved it, and they call it secret sauce. So they would go, Nikki, make more of the secret sauce. And then I gave them the recipe, and then they would just make it themselves. And then they started giving it away to neighbors and stuff. And Jen, in our house, if we run out of pro seasoning, it's like the world is coming to an end. We have to have it because it's so easy. You don't have to use salt, pepper, all the things. You just do one and done, and that's perfectly balanced, and it's got a good salt in it, and it's got good, good fresh spices in it. Because I don't blend it myself. I have a second company that does it for me. They're called co-packers, and they're certified and inspected, and they lab test everything and all that kind of stuff. So, it's a really great product, and I really believe that it saves you time because you just put it in everything.
Okay, a couple questions.
All right.
Rhonda said, did you add wine or did you add it after the beef?
I haven't added the wine yet. I'm going to cook this beef all the way, which is almost there. And once it's cooked, you could drain some of the fat, but this is actually pretty lean, so I don't really need to do very much. I don't need to drain any fat. And then I'm going to add the wine.
Michael said, how do you deal with the fat from the beef?
So you can actually just sop it up with paper towels if you have it and use tongs, or you can, just kind of strain it very carefully. This what's coming out here it's not fat, it's water. So I'm just going to cook the water off. Eventually, I'll just kind of make a hole right there and let it cook off because it'll just evaporate. If it's fat won't evaporate, but fat is flavor, so you want some of the fat to be there. Maybe you don't. I don't know. It's everybody's, health is different. Me, I'm like, put it in. Who cares? Whatever.
Elena made a funny comment. She said you will insult the ancestors if you leave raisins out. So.
Ooh, okay. Wowee. Okay, I like that. I like knowing that it's, I want a firm answer, and I feel like that's a firm answer. The raisins go in. So Paul Newman, you're up, buddy, soon. Newman's Own Raisins. I was like, it's either that or Sun-Maid. And I was like, this is a cuter box, so I got this one.
The only ancestor I was worried about offending was Abuela with the beans.
Yeah.
So you can make the picadillo any way you want to make it.
Yeah. So I'm going to make a little hole, let that evaporate off. Stop stirring it so much. I cut off my rice. It's just chilling. I'm going to cut off my beans. They're done. But I'm going to stir in the sugar and the vinegar at the very last minute, and we'll do that together.
How do you know when the beans are done?
I mean, the thing is they're from a can, so they're cooked already. And so really, we're just looking to marry the flavors of the peppers and the onions and all that kind of stuff. So to give you a firm answer, my spidey sense told me.
Okay. Michael asked, what ground beef did you use? 80-20?
They didn't have 80-20 at, this one's 92% lean, 8% fat. So it's pretty lean, mine. So I looked for a fattier version, but they didn't have it. But instead of fat coming out, I got water coming out.
My Aunt Carmen would like me to correct myself earlier.
Correct yourself, girl.
When I said
better correct
that she uses the cilantro and the beer for the black beans. She does not do that. She uses cilantro and beer for the picadillo. Sorry, Carmen.
Okay, so as the record stands, Carmen puts beer and cilantro in the picadillo. But does she put raisins, is what I really want to know.
We don't know. I don't think
Starting to dry up a little bit here.
I had it with raisins, to be honest.
All right, we're nice and dry. So I'm going to add the wine, a couple tablespoons of wine. And remember, we always want this to evaporate off. A lot of Spanish cooking has wine in it. Just a couple, you go, oh, it just pops up out of nowhere. But you just put it in.
It's great for flavor, I feel like.
It is wonderful for flavor. It's something that, a lot of American dishes could use, a little wine, just pop it on in.
Oh yeah, Carmen said earlier we didn't like it with raisins, so no, she didn't have it with raisins.
All right, so the wine is cooked off. Now we're gonna put in our little can of tomato sauce here because we need this to reduce as well. Whole thing. Here it goes. So what are we missing here? Pro seasoning and olives and raisins, but those go in later. Now is when it starts to look nice and yummy. And we want those flavors to marry together as well.
My Aunt Lillian said her favorite recipes from, I guess my abuela's cookbook is the coconut flan.
Wow. Coconut flan. That sounds good.
Maybe we should do a dessert one.
I was thinking about that. And I was also thinking about doing cheese, making hand-stretched cheese, kind of like as a demo and not as a cook-along. All right, well, this is pro seasoning. It's not in the right jar, but put about a teaspoon of that pro seasoning in. And we're starting to dry up here, which is good. We want it nice and kind of thick. And then the very last thing is going to be the raisins and olives, Spanish olives. I got these sliced already with the pimento. And my raisins. Here's my raisins. I'm putting a whole box in. Brace yourself. Here it goes. Whole box of raisins going in, baby.
Sorry, Carmen.
Sorry. We got word that the ancestors will be pissed off if we don't put the raisins in. So here they go. Here goes the raisins. They're going to plump up. Oh, Ollie's got a towel.
Oliver.
He goes in very quietly and steals laundry. We got to have, all of our hampers and stuff need lids, but we just haven't gotten that far yet. Okay, and now fresh jar of olives. Put some olives in, a little juice going in. That's okay. It's nice and salty and tart. Olives are going in. I'm just gonna put them in until my my spidey sense says stop. But there it is. That's our picadillo. Look at that.
Smells good.
Looks perfect. Turn the heat down. Turn it off, really. It's done. All right, so now we're just gonna finish our beans, and then we are calling this meal done. How easy was that? And it is 7:05, so it took us about an hour.
Elena said, long live the raisins.
She's happy. Elena's happy.
Beba said that Abuela also made a really mean arroz con pollo, which is very
What?
true.
We need that recipe too,
It
then.
is really good. Actually, Carmen does that. My Aunt Carmen does that really well.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. We're gonna finish off Abuela's beans. I have white vinegar. I keep white vinegar around in a bottle like this because I like to add it to stuff all the time. And we're gonna put in 2 tablespoons of the vinegar and 2 tablespoons of the sugar. Here goes 1, 2. Now it smells like black beans. 1, 2. Give it a stir. Let all that sugar melt. Cook down some of that that vinegar. And there we go.
My Aunt Carmen says she also makes Abuela's ropa vieja, which
Oh.
I need that recipe, Aunt Carmen. So if you could please text that to me, that would be great.
Yeah, I love ropa vieja.
It's my favorite.
Yes, very good. Translates to old clothes, right? Because it's like torn up. Should be flank steak,
Shredded beef.
shredded flank steak.
In tomato
All right, that's
sauce.
done. Now we're gonna plate.
It smells so
Does anybody
good.
need a recap while we're? Oh, that's hot.
You haven't heard from Jessie in a while,
How we
so
doing?
she could probably do from a recap.
Well, let's see. This we gotta get rid of. Can you see that? You can see that. Get that out of your way. Garlic over here. We gotta clean up my shop. And get it all ready for my customers. And so here it is. Now the question is, do you like the beans on top of the rice?
I like it kind of to the side so I can mix it at
Yeah.
my choosing.
I like that as well because I don't like to be bossed around with how much sauciness is happening, right? Dry this rice out a little bit. And then we're ready to plate. Okay, so Jessie, we finished up our ground beef, the picadillo. We just did our peppers and our onions in the pan with some olive oil. Then we added the garlic. Then we added the ground beef, and we cooked it all thoroughly. We added white wine, the salsa de tomate, which is like the little can of tomato sauce. Cooked that down, and then the last things we added was pro seasoning and olives and raisins. I'm wondering if Kyle would like raisins. Probably not, right? He seems like a don't put raisins near my beef kind of guy.
I think he would try it.
You think he would try it?
Yeah.
Kyle, we need to know. Are you going to eat the raisins in the? Inquiring minds want to know. So you guys hear that crackle? Can you hear that? That is the sound of the rice getting crunchy on the bottom.
Yes.
So we're drying it out a little bit, and we're crunching up that rice. And really, honestly, it's at the bottom of the thing, so you can't really eat it until, it's like at the end of the meal. It's like the last little gift. But we're ready to plate now. So we're going to put the rice on top, rice in the middle of the plate. You guys know I always put my starch in the center of the plate, and then I plate from there. I'll put the beef on top and my beans on the side, and boom, that's it. That's all she wrote. That's our Cuban dinner. Super easy. A lot of culture, here in Tallahassee.
We shared some Cuban abuela stories.
We did. Shared all the stories.
Lots of love.
We had some laughs. Jen cried a little.
I didn't.
All right, here goes our rice.
I may when I eat, though.
We're going to have to put the camera right on you then.
No thanks. Patty says, if I leave out the raisins, will I be judged?
I mean, what you do in your own home, Patty, between your own four walls, that's up to you, baby.
You may be judged by Elena's Cuban ancestors, though, apparently.
Yeah. Here comes our picadillo. Put a nice spoon in the middle. Gorgeous. And then, only with the wooden spoon are we going to put the beans, because they deserve a wooden spoon.
Rhonda said, great stories.
Yeah, great stories. We're sharing. We're having fun. Sharing some culture.
I love when food has a story.
Oh, heck yeah. Absolutely. That's hot. Okay. And there it is. Your moment of zen. Look at that. That looks beautiful. All right, now take a bite and cry. Just kidding. How are we doing out there? Does anybody need help?
I haven't heard from Jesse in a while.
Yeah. Jesse, let us know how you're doing. I'm going to make me a plate now.
Did
My
you
honey
put
her
bay
plate.
leaf in the picadillo?
No.
Carmen says she adds that.
You can. Anytime you do some savory food, add a bay leaf. It's fine. It's wonderful. It's good stuff.
Ultra V says that looks like it needs some cilantro sprinkled on top.
Yeah, you could do that. You could definitely do that.
But is cilantro a big Cuban staple food?
I would think, yeah. I would think. Yeah, I mean, you can add whatever you want. You can add, a little tomato, with chopped up tomato with onion and cilantro and, lime, and make a little salsa for the top, and just, add that little bit of brightness. So yeah, the world is your oyster.
Beba said, good job, Nikki.
Thank you, Beba. I love you very much. And so we're going to go.
Patty says, looks amazing. Rhonda said, be fun to make on a Sunday.
Yeah.
She says that she's clapping. It's fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming hanging out with me every week. We'll see what we do next week. I haven't really decided what to do next week. So stay tuned. I always put the menu out by Monday. So look forward to that. You can go on Nikki Talks Food on Facebook. If you're watching on Twitch or on YouTube, go to Nikki Talks Food on Facebook, and that's where you get all the information about what we're cooking that week, and then it always comes out on a Monday. And so I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me and cooking with me and making food with me and just kind of breaking away from whatever's going on. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will be at the Farmers Market, the Tallahassee Downtown Market, which is on Adams and South Monroe, Park and Monroe.
North Monroe,
Yeah. Park and Monroe, across from the DoubleTree.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so I'll be there selling my stuff. So come say hi, wear a mask, don't breathe on me, don't breathe on anybody else. Just come and be quiet. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Come and you do you. Come and buy some stuff and support local people at the market. Okay.
Bounce says, looks great.
Thank you, Bounce.
Vicky.
Oh, Bounce is live streaming tomorrow, his happy hours at 7 o'clock on Facebook. And so follow DJ Bounce.
If you like some great music.
If you like some great music. Yeah, it's super great.
Vicky said, another great meal. Thanks for sharing the recipe.
Oh, thank you, Vicky.
Rhonda said, thank you. And Michael said, looks like comfort food.
It is comfort food. That is for sure. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week, 6 o'clock. Same bad place, same bad time.